Is there such a thing as destiny? Is this a grand scheme? Do we have choice? Do we have free will? Are all the questions answered throughout this lifetime without us truly understanding why we've gone through what we've gone through? Is there a purpose? Is there meaning? All of these questions come up for most of us throughout our lifetime, especially when things devastating happens and we want to try to find a reason. We want to make it logical. We want to have the questions answered. Why me? We are not responsible for our childhood. We are not responsible for how our parents, our environment that we were born into. However, we are responsible for our adulthood and how we deal and manage with that childhood experience, as devastating as it can be for some people. However, how do we navigate that? How do we know which roads to go down? What does the map look like? How do I know what's going to heal me, make me feel better, take away all the pain, the memories? How do I answer those questions? The most pending question of why me? Do I have a past life? We will never really know 100% what life is all about. What we do know is that this is the here and now. I had somebody ask me, do you believe in God? I was born and raised a Roman Catholic. I have to be honest with you. I steered away from the belief because of my educational background in philosophy and psychology. I've learned the history of Catholicism, and I was saddened, disgraced, heartbroken. And it made me question religion. It made me question God. It made me question man. However, what I like to do now, how I like to think about that now, is this. I like to live as if there is one. The jury's out. I don't really know. But I live as if there is one. Is there more lives than this? Have we had many before? Will we have many more to come? I like to live as if I will live again. And therefore, all the decisions and the choices that I create in this lifetime will affect my next life, just as if my past life has affected this one. And so I want to learn those lessons as quickly, smoothly, and as easily as possible. Right now, some of the belief systems that I tend to lean towards, or philosophies, is Buddhism. It's what resonates with me the most. And humanitarianism. Do unto others as you would like to have done unto you. And therefore, my answer to the question, why me? Why you? You are just as unique as the individual snowflake that falls from the sky. From a distance, it all looks the same. Every snowflake falling large white dusts from the sky that melts away or freezes, depending on its environment, looks exactly the same until you look closer and closer. Even on a microscopic view, every single snowflake is different, just like you. And so the more that you get to know who you are on a microscopic level, the more that you will understand how unique and different and what shape you take in this lifetime. What I love about astrology is that quickly tells you, because we get convoluted, we get confused, we get scared. The shadows tend to get darker and darker, and we forget about looking at the light. We become fearful. We become afraid. We only see certain aspects of ourselves because they seem to be all-encompassing and controlling. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can be kept on track with all of your faculties in place. I had a client the other day. My son is suicidal. We have to pull him out of school. Took a look at the chart and realized that there was a lot of biology going on. Testosterone, adrenal glands. Suggested a bioidentical hormone testing, which they proceeded to do. Life-changing. Does that mean that he didn't have depression, he didn't have anxiety, he didn't have a loss of his path for a moment in this lifetime? And a moment in this lifetime is 6 months, a year to 2 years. That's a moment in this lifetime. Absolutely. Taking care of the mind is extremely important. But looking at this chart and helping these people see that part of what was going on was physical, absolutely, breathtakingly, navigatingly moving them towards an answer, a light at the end of the tunnel. I had another client who reached out to me. I'm 16 years old. I don't want to live anymore. I've taken a handful of pretty strong aspirins. I've taken a lot of alcohol. I don't like living at home. I don't like school. I'm not sure what my gender is. I question, why am I here? Who do I belong to? This I was able to help. Central nervous system. Very powerful, very strong. Does hear voices. Does connect to spirit. Absolutely has the ability to feel other people's feelings and fears and anxiety just as validating and feeling as visually we can see our hand in front of our faces. How do you explain this when you're a teenager, to your teachers, to your friends, to your parents? When you're questioning, why do I feel this? Why do I see these things? Why do I understand the deep, fearful emotions of my friend more than they understand it? This is the making of a future therapist. This is the making of a future intuitive that will one day help people exactly in the position that she's in now. And with this, I segue towards, how do you understand your destiny? How do you understand your mission? How do you know why you're here? What is the meaning of your life? Take a look at your childhood. What happened in your childhood? Did you have any physical ailments? Did you struggle with parental guidance, disrespect? Did you have a parent with mental illness, drug abuse, alcoholism? Did you have abandonment? Were you bullied? Were you teased? The more traumatic your childhood, the stronger your mission is in this lifetime. Whatever you experienced as a child is what you are to give back, to pay forward as an adult towards the people who have gone through exactly what you've gone through. And so therefore you have to go down the journey of healing yourself. You have to go through that journey, and you have to do it and do it and do it and do it until you get it right. How many bad relationships do you have to have until you figure out your father-daughter issues and find out the true meaning of love? How many nutritionists and homeopaths and doctors do you have to go to before you find out what your nutritional health issue is? How much education, how many jobs do you have to have before you realize what your mission is? And because you've got that experience and you've walked that walk and you can talk that talk, you can now teach others everything that you've learned through the hard knock school of life. It's free education. And once you've discovered and you gathered all the knowledge and all the information and all of the results, or at least most of them, you begin your journey as a teacher, as a healer, as a practitioner, as a counselor. You may do it. I had a client who worked in a restaurant, and she passed on her empathy and her sympathy and her intuition and her need to take care of the elderly because she had an experience of not having a mother. Her grandmother raised her. Her grandmother fell ill when she was 15, 16, 17 years old. She took care of her grandmother until she died when she was 21. And now she serves in a restaurant where there's a lot of elderly that come there on a regular basis, and she takes care of them and loves every single second of it. So next time you are trying to find the answer to why me, think and discover and ponder on how you can turn that into the answer of what your destiny and your mission is in this lifetime. Find your philosophy, find your belief system, find your meaning. Namaste.